Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. We're going to give it a few seconds to let everybody in. As we let everybody in, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Lorna Baez. I'm one of the assistant directors at SBDC at FIU. Here you have two very important people on this webinar. The first is Barbara Cotto. She's the director of BIG, which is the Business Innovation and Growth Accelerator program at FIU. And Matt Block, the government consultant who's going to be leading the webinar. I'm going to give a few minutes to Barbara so she can share a little bit more about BIG. Before I do, just a quick reminder, this webinar is being recorded. We will be sending you the recording as well as the presentation in a follow-up email. We're also going to upload this webinar on YouTube. I will be supervising the chat today. If you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A section. Matt gave me the green light to interrupt him throughout the webinar session. So this webinar is for you, so please ask away. So without further ado, Barbara Cotto.
Thank you, Lorna. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have the opportunity to connect with you through the SBDC and with two great professionals such as Lorna and Matt. Matt and I, we were just chatting. We go a long way, quite a few years back when it comes to DOT and procurement processes and the how-tos for entrepreneurs. And that is actually why I'm connecting with you guys today to share more about what we have to offer at FIU Business Innovation and Accelerator at the College of Business, or BIG, which is easier to do. It's easier to do acronyms, right? So we are a program under the umbrella of the College of Business at FIU that work closely alongside with the Small Business Development Center. But in our end, we provide educational programs that aim to help you build capacity to move your business forward. And in what ways do we do that? So we have boot camps, we have accelerators, we have incubating programs, but we are well known particularly for our procurement boot camps. And that's how we connect with the SBDC. That is also how we connect with Matt all along these years, right? We offer education and training that will lead you to master your procurement process, not specifically targeted to one entity, but we will address it through multiple entities' needs, right? We also do accelerator programs where we help you build capacity. We help you strategize your business, identify business opportunities throughout your segmentation and other areas to move things forward and build wealth, but not only build wealth, have the opportunity also to hire those people that you need to help you so you can become a CEO instead of a multitasking, all-inclusive business owner, right? If we can describe it somehow. We also have a network of partners that we work closely with, and we do referrals. Once you have gone through our program, we understand your business and we help you land your business plan. We refer you either to the SBDC so you can further your consulting in a specific area that you have potential opportunity for you or your business, because you could be a solopreneur or you just can have a larger operation. Or if you need access to capital, depending how much, you could either do it with a partner at the SBDC, or we can refer you to other partners such as Ascendos, Prospera, and many others in our network. We also do a lot of networking where we encourage entrepreneurs to actually interact with each other, because at times you will find that particular someone that could join you in a venture to go after. something like the FDOT, like what Matt is going to be sharing today, or to go to any other opportunities in conjunction, right? That you might have not been fully on board yourself, just on your own, but if you find the right partner, you can go after that opportunity. And like that, we also showcase your businesses. We also tailor to retail businesses and construction businesses, among the many things that we have to offer. But we are very much educational based. Once you go through our program, you will have completed your business plan, your action plan, your smart plan, and many other, let's say, back of the house needs that must be ready before you go to something like seeking for FDOT opportunities, like Matt will share with us today. And with that, I want to thank Lorna and Matt for the opportunity to share a bit about what we do. And I turn it back to you.
Thank you, Barbara. So I put their website and also FIU, their link to Instagram if you want to follow them, FIU_big. Like Barbara said, big is very important when it comes to just education, knowing your resources, how to tap it. So please make sure that you follow them. This webinar is full of resources, so really quickly, I just want to acknowledge Terry Watson. Terry, if you're there.
Terry!
I am. How are you?
Very well, very well.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can, and we can hear you.
And you can hear me.
How you
Fantastic.
doing, Terry? Long time, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Long time. You're looking good.
Yep. Likewise, my friend.
You're getting younger. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, I got the little skunk line here. You want to say something before we begin, Terry?
Yeah, I can jump in real quick and just kind of introduce myself and got a couple of things I'll share with the folks, and then I'm really excited about hearing you impart some wisdom on dealing with FDOT projects and looking forward, which anybody can do. As you well know, we have support service providers that help DBEs and small businesses do that exact same thing too. So I'm sure some of the things that you're going to share are things that that you picked up on in a past life, as well
Yeah.
as just some of the things that that we as a department put in place to be able to help people play a part in FDOT projects. So my name's Terry Watson. I'm the state DBE program coordinator for the state of Florida. I've been with the state since 2002. Yeah, a long time, man. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess. And the fun part is the fact that I do enjoy and have enjoyed over the years working with businesses, in particular small businesses and disadvantaged businesses, trying to figure out how to do work with FDOT, and more than that, do work with FDOT if you're going to be primed to FDOT, or do work on FDOT projects if you're subbing for a prime who's won that won a project, which I think is a really important piece for folks to always remember, that even if you don't end up being a prime yet, you're still working your way up to be able to handle an entire project as a prime. There's still opportunities for you as a sub on FDOT projects. So again, some of the information Matt's going to share, I'm sure, is going to talk to you about that fact and about going through and navigating where those can be found and what kinds of things can be found on a project as a sub. The other thing I think I want to try and put a plug in, a shameless plug for our DBE program, is DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, which is a federal designation. It's actually covered through 49 CFR Part 26, which is the federal regulation that covers the DBE program, anything and everything you ever want to know about the program itself. But the shameless plug is, if you are a business that meets the criteria to be certified as a DBE, to me, over the years, I've seen there's no downside to doing that. Because what it does is put you in a situation where you're part of a directory of DBEs throughout the state. So any entities looking for disadvantaged businesses and wanting to try and give those businesses an opportunity to win work, they will see you in that directory. And whether you're put in that directory by us, we're a certifying member. We mostly deal with roadway and bridge contractors and subcontractors. But you could be put in by one of our other certifying members. There's about 10 or so other ones throughout the state. And no matter who put you in there, you're in the same directory and you're viewed as a DBE once they've actually certified you. The process is fairly painless. Used to be maybe a little more painful, but things have changed a lot. And even more recently, they've changed when it comes to interstate certification and making that even easier. So if you were trying to do work here in Florida, you're certified here and you want to go to a different state, and vice versa. If you're certified in another state and want to come in here to Florida. So again, trying to make it where there are tons of opportunities for you to play a part in some of the work that we're putting out, the roadway and bridge work that we put out. Somewhere around our budget last year was somewhere around $14 billion, a little north of that, I think. And out of that, right around 10 or so went straight to work program to go on to projects, to actually have projects built, whether it be resurfacing, whether it be building new roads, whether it be new bridges, or maintaining the existing bridges and making changes. There was about 10 billion or so. And our goal last year for DBE utilization, which is a race neutral goal. We don't have goals on individual contracts. The DBE utilization is not a part of selection for winning a contract, but it's something that's very important to us because it's part of the federal regulations and the dollars that we get from the feds. So it's something we pay very close attention to. And our goal was 10.54% last year, and we ended the year at 10.8%, which for us is actually a little lower than usual. We previous years, from the year before last up through more than a decade, we were at least 1 to 1.5 to 2 percentage points higher than what the goal was. And our goal has been in that 10.65 range, dropped down a little bit last year for the next 3 years.
Terry,
But yes.
we have a question here. The question is, does the DBE certification requires that you don't work for someone else for 2 years? If so, does being an independent contractor outside of your business disqualify you?
No, there's nothing like that for a DBE. We don't put any stipulation on you having worked for somebody else or worked on another job. I'm about to lose a battery here, so I'm going to talk fast, and then I'll go run and grab my plug-in. I didn't bring it, sorry. But no, that is not something that's a thing. You can be a startup business. You can be a business that's been in business for several years. Again, certification is based on the qualifications set forth in 49 CFR Part 26. That's the Code of Federal Regulations. So no, you don't have to not work. You don't have to have not worked for somebody else.
Okay, thank you, Terry. Please continue to add your questions in the Q&A section. I'll make sure that Matt or Terry respond to everything that you have. I want to give the microphone to Matt Block. This is a hands-on webinar. So we're gonna go through a lot of things. So make sure that, you keep with us and keep active asking questions. And then, yes, here to you, Matt.
Okay. First of all, before anything, I want to say hi to Terry properly. It's been so long. Terry and I worked together for about, 5 years together in the DBE Supported Services program. Probably biggest thing I remember, Terry, was when I think I was downstairs in the big office you have, complaining about, I've been here for 5 days, it's been tough. And you said, hey, you want my job? And you had behind Terry's desk, he had piles of, look like a huge Jenga office full of folders. I'm like, no, I'm good. I got it. I remember that with Terry. Yeah, we had a lot of fun working together, helping small businesses. And so yeah, what Terry was telling was true. The DB Supported Service programs help so many businesses engage with the department. I do, the SBDC, we help giving you information for the DBE certification, and Terry's DBE Supported Services can also help you with that. So please reach out to us, reach out to Terry, reach out to DBE Supported Services. Are going to help you with that. Okay.
We got a new question.
Yes.
One of the attendees is trying to learn more about federal contracts for aviation.
Okay, that's a very good question. However, the DOT has something to do with aviation to a point at the airports, but when it comes to like the aviation for like the department and all that, that's the federal government. The DOT is a state government. Okay, so what I would recommend is whoever asked that question, please register with the SBDC and with APEC, and we can help you with federal opportunities. This will not be touched on in this webinar.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
Any other questions?
I'm putting that link for our individualized consulting. It's at no cost, it's confidential and individualized, and the link is right there on the chat.
Yeah, I help hundreds of clients a year that own businesses, and I don't bill anybody but Lorna. That's all who I bill every year. I don't bill anybody else. And Lorna passes the bill on to the university, so don't worry about it. It's all no cost to you, okay? All right, any other questions before we move on? All right, let's go. We got little time to cover a lot, okay? So first thing, if you don't know about the SBDC, we're around all the universities in Florida. The section that we work in is, as you can see, FIU at the bottom is Dade-Monroe County. Please reach out to us for free assistance whenever you need it. I'll let Lorna cover more of that at the end. All right. We don't only offer government contracting assistance. You can see we offer startup assistance, access to capital, which is very, very popular, international trade and development, marketing and growth strategies, business plan assistance, which Barbara was talking about, which is very important, which is preparation, and so on. Okay, so this is very, very important stuff. Okay, and training and workshop like you're doing now. Okay. So government contracting services are offered by the Florida Apex Accelerator, formerly known as PTAC. I am not an Apex Accelerator. I'm with SBDC, but we are partners. We work together. I can do this. Apex and I work together with SBDC. We just have different names, but same thing. I'm sorry I'm going so fast, but I really want to get to the hands-on stuff. Okay. These are some of what we hit every year, just so you know, like the numbers we hit every year helping businesses. As you can see, we've when it comes to government contracting, we got more than 9.4 million in government contracts secured between 2018 and 22. All right, and you can see all the other numbers we get here. This is our team of consultants for Miami-Dade. Team of consultants for BizGap, which is another program, and our team of consultants for the Florida Keys. So you got plenty of people to help you, including myself. All right, and I forget what year, 2023, we were, out of all the SBDCs around all the United States, we were named the best center in the whole year for helping businesses. Very big honor. The gentleman you see there in the front holding the trophies are Brian Van Hook, he's our director, and Jesus Padilla, who was our also our director. They and Lorna too. I don't think Lorna's in that picture. They're the directors who can help you talk to more consultants and move forward. All right, let's get to the nice stuff. All right, so one thing I do understand, this workshop's going to be mostly hands-on, which means we're going to jump from the slides and go live on the internet to go see information you want to see. All right. So it's important to understand that this is just for the DOT. We're not going to be doing the Department of, we're not going to be doing veteran services. We're not going to be doing any federal agencies. We're not going to be doing Miami-Dade Public Schools. This is just DOT. Okay. We have other workshops that cover other ones, but we were very much asked to do this because DOT has a kind of different way of doing things. However, I will say this, over the years, I have learned that if you learn one process on how to find and bid on jobs, you usually have it a lot easier when you're looking for other ones. Sometimes I got to look for cities that I've never worked before. And because I know the terminology and I know what I'm looking for, it's a lot easier for me. So even if you're not looking for specifically DOT jobs, this can be very, very helpful for you. Now, another thing I do want you to understand is that every agency, not only the DOT, you think of DOT and you think roads, like, oh, all they do is roads, but that's not completely true. They have a lot of professional services. They have tons of buildings that need upkeep. If you're driving down the turnpike going to Orlando, you'll see all those service stations on the side that have catering and food. So there is tons and tons and tons of opportunities with every single agency, not just the DOT. Okay. But don't like center yourself and say, well, DOT is only roads and I can't do that. There's so much to do, as we'll see in a minute. All right, so one important thing, and it took me a while to understand when I started working with Terry, because I was only into the road and bridge, and people would ask me like, well, what about the buildings? Like, I don't know, I've never seen them before. What took me to learn is that DOT advertises their work on two places, all right? For road and bridge construction, they do it on the DOT website. And for all other building, professional services, etc., it's on My Florida Marketplace. We're gonna look at both websites today, all right? Okay, now, very important, all FDOT bid information is free to access. FDOT goes a long way to give you all the tools necessary to be able to access all the documents you need. One thing I teach in workshops a lot is, please, you need to understand that in order to bid any government job, not just FDOT, you need to have all the documents in hand and understand all the documents in hand. If you are not doing this, you are not bidding the job correctly, you can get into a lot of trouble, all right? FDOT makes it easy and free to access all these documents. I will show you how today, all right? Now, you might have to register for these processes, like for roads and bridges, you've got to register for the contract proposal processing system to be able to get these documents, but it's free, okay? You can access bid documents, price sheets, plans and specs, everything for free, all right? As I said before, it's up to the companies to read and assess the information in order to turn in a responsible bid, and all the information is there. All right, now here, I've done this class a lot live and online, okay? So here are my recommendations so you can get the most out of this class, all right? First of all, I'm gonna be going live on the internet to teach both websites and demonstrate all the available information, okay? The second is the most important one. Please, I can't underscore this enough. Please do not spend too much time memorizing where to click, all right? It's more important that everyone understands what information is available more than where to click, all right? I expect people to forget where it was that I clicked. I expect that, all right? But for that, all you gotta do is sign up for consulting and I can answer that question in 2 minutes, all right? But if you don't know what's available, then it makes it a lot harder for you to ask the questions that you need to, okay? So I do beg you, please do not like start writing down, and this is gonna be recorded anyway, so you can, and Lorna will send it to you, I believe. So you can see where I clicked and all that, but don't spend too much time looking at where I clicked. Spend more time seeing what's available to you, okay? All right, as Lorna said before, please place questions in the chat before the instructor moves on to the next pages. It is very difficult for me to go back once I'm like, 3, 4 pages. It resets everything, so please ask the questions like now, and Lorna has complete authorization to interrupt me at any time, okay? I told her I wouldn't get upset. This workshop is not about pricing, it's not about bidding, it's not about estimating, it's more about navigation, all right? If you need help with all of below, we have it, it's just not in this workshop, okay? Please contact the FDOT if you require types of assistance, okay? Sorry, let me see if I got this right. Okay, so, first thing, for road and bridge construction, we're gonna go to the DOT website. So I'm gonna stop sharing now, and I'm gonna start sharing live on the internet. Give me 1 second. You there, Lorna?
Yes.
Any questions yet?
No, not yet.
All right, cool.
Sorry. And
No.
just to recap, we will be sending this PowerPoint presentation, also the recording. So like Matt said, you will be receiving all of the links that he'll be sharing throughout.
Oh, all right. Oh, whoops, 1 page. Hold on. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? What can you see, Lorna? Can you see the FDOT website?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right. So this is the FDOT website. If you look at the top, it's just fdot.gov. That's it. The link is in the slide. The first thing, I've been doing this for years. The page has changed a lot, but the information is basically the same. So the first thing I do, there's one thing to understand about this page is there's tons and tons and tons of information here, not just on jobs, but everything DOT related, right? Road congestions, tolls, everything is here about DOT, okay? So we need to focus, if we're looking for work, is focus on just tunnel vision, all right? And just go to the pages where the work is, all right? First thing to do is go to offices up here. And here you'll see all the offices: aviation, communication, design, emergency management, environmental management, so on, so on, so on. But what we're looking for now is construction. And we're going to go to contract administration, all right? Okay, now, this is, if we scroll down here, we're going to see, it's very important to understand, and I should have put this in the slide, all right? DOT has 7 districts plus the turnpike, all right? Our district down in Miami-Dade is District 6, and Broward and Palm Beach is District 4, all right? So we have 7 districts around Florida plus the turnpike, and we really have like a tense place to look for work because the central office in Tallahassee, where Terry was speaking to you from, all right? They manage the larger jobs across all of Florida, all right? So usually the larger jobs are in the central office, and you can also go to the district contract office, okay? So let's start here where it says most requested. This is a very, very good place to find things. Go to most requested, and you'll see the central office letting and project information. So this is the central office, all right, where Terry was talking to you from a minute ago, all right? Now, it's very important to understand that DOT, when it comes to construction, they separate their jobs in what they call letting date, all right? In this case, the letting date coming up is January 29th. Now, what does the letting date mean? That's the day the bids need to be turned in for a specific project, all right? So if I open the January 29th letting date, all right, you look here and we have 2 jobs right down here, all right? T5838, which is in Orange County. It's a resurfacing job. And we got T4705, which is in Broward County, which is an intermediate bridge construction. There could be tons of jobs. We're going to look at more of them in a minute, all right? These bids need to be turned in by the prime contractors on January 29th, all right? So now, if you see there's tons of information here, you got the full advertisement, you got the bid items, DBA availability. This is probably one of the most popular ones, plans and proposal holders. I'll explain why in a second, all right? So if you open up one of these jobs, you can go straight to here. You want to see like this job in Broward, right? T4705, which is more around our neck of the woods, all right? I'm just going to put guest in here. And I'm pretty sure I'm not a robot. And here is the advertisement for this job, all right? Now, I know everyone's going right to the center where it says proposal budget estimate. Everyone's looking at that right now. Wow, $52 million. I want that job. This is obviously a huge, huge, huge project, okay? And what Terry was saying a minute ago is, contractors who do this type of job need to be pre-qualified. I mean, you need to be like proven an expert in bridge construction to do this, to be able to do it as a prime. But we will look at in a minute. There's plenty of subcontracting opportunities where you don't need to be pre-qualified, all right? And you can get a chunk out of those $52 million that are right there, all right? So one thing I want to let you know, just for the future, if you don't talk to me or ever again, please be careful with these estimates here. These numbers are based on basically historic data that the DOT has. I don't pay attention to them. To me, they're, they mess with my head when I'm doing estimating because they're making me like, I got to get to this number when it's not true, all right? Because if you think about all the work that was done pre-pandemic versus the work that was done after the pandemic, the prices are just unequal. So a lot of that that historical data that's inside those 52 million is pre-pandemic. So those prices don't help me right now. All right. I'll be ending up losing a lot of money. So no matter what you're doing, big, small job, I do not recommend looking at, estimates and saying this is the number I have to be at. This is just, a number that they use to, the job's going to be around this. If you follow this job, you'll see, if you keep following it and see when the primes turn in their bids, you'll notice that a lot of them will be way higher than that number. Okay. And they're not going to lose money. If the job is worth 65 million, they're not going to do the job for 52 because that's losing money. Okay. And then they'll see what they come in. Please don't pay attention to this number too much, no matter how big the job. All right. Now, what I wanted to talk about here, if you look at the bottom, these are all the estimated items that will be on this job. Okay. You see the structures. It says bridge superstructure. They're expecting concrete class 4 cubic yards. They're expecting 933 of that. These are all the items that need to be priced out by the prime contractor. All right. And some of these, let me give you a good example. All right. And you might say, well, this is just, concrete. It's just that, I don't do any of that. I don't do this. I don't, it's nothing to do with me. But let me show you right here, for example. Something I happen to know a little about. All right. Here's signage. All right. For example, like, this is something where I know a lot of contractors who do signage, barriers, stuff like that. Nothing to do with concrete. All right. So in this case, there's like 67, single column signs that could be like stop signs or whatever. If that's something you sell or something that's an opportunity for you because the prime contractor is probably not producing these, they're buying these. All right. So these are all opportunities you have to be able to bid these. Okay. Just look at all this and I don't know what each one of yours, what kind of business you do here, but there's thermoplastic, there's tons and tons and tons of opportunities. Not just, oh, it's a road, oh, it's a bridge. There's painting involved, electrical, as you can see there, lighting involved. Sometimes there's plumbing involved, depending on what they're doing, drainage work, signalization, which is more electrical. So please pay attention to everything that's on these lists, okay? Now, going back. All right. Now, if I scroll down here, you're going to see where it says CPP Online Ordering System. All right. This stands for Contract Proposal Processing. All right. So basically, inside this system, I'm not going to open it now because it takes forever to log into it. All right. But basically, you have to log into this. You need to create an account. And once you do that, from the Contract Proposal Ordering System, you can download all the plans and specs that you want for every single job. All right. Download them directly in PDF format. Okay. But you need to sign up for the Contract Proposal Processing System to do this. Okay. Now, what's cool about the DOT, about the construction page, is that if you look here, it says Plan and Proposal Holders. All right. If I'm a prime contractor and I download the plans from the proposal processing system and I download the plans, it creates a record of me downloading the plans in there. Right. So let's say my company is called Matt Block Construction. Right. If Matt Block Construction downloaded the plans, you're going to be able to go in here. I'm not going to click on this now because it takes a long time to create a record, but I did make a picture of this in the end to show you at the end of the presentation. So don't worry. You can download this and you'll see me as having downloaded the plan. All right. And Matt Block is a prime contractor. So if you're selling signs, if you're selling thermoplastic for the road or anything like that, you have an idea of the prime contractors who are going after this job even before the job finishes bidding. Okay. So you can contact them and say, hey, this is whoever, we're looking to sell you, paint for the striping on the road or whatever it is. All right. Or we want to do the striping for you or whatever it is. And you can actually get all the information of the prime contractor. You're not limited on contacting one. You can contact all of them. All right. And I will show you how to differentiate because subs and primes will both download the plans. You need to be able to differentiate which is which. Okay. And I'll show you how at the end of the presentation with the screenshot I have. But what's very, very, very important to understand is the fact that that Matt Block Construction downloaded the plans doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to bid it. It just means I downloaded the plans to look at them. Okay. It's your job to call Matt Block Construction and find out whether I'm bidding the job or not. You're going to call and talk to somebody, say, hey, I see you downloaded the plans. Are you still bidding this job? If I say no, then that's it, right? Let's move on to the next one. But if I say yes, then we can start talking about what I need for the job. And you can get me a quote and I can use that quote for my bid if I like it. Okay. Lauren, I think I saw a question go up. Anything?
Yes.
Mhm.
So you don't need to bid for the entire project? Can I bid for just a section, no matter how small it is?
Yes, but you're bidding to the prime contractor, not to the FDOT. Does that make any sense? So let's say I'm the prime contractor and I bid the whole job, right? I'm bidding the whole job. So if you're looking to sell, I don't know, electrical services, right? You're going to bid to me and I'm going to use your quote inside my bid to the DOT, and you are a subcontractor and I am the prime. So yes, you can bid small portions, but it's not like the DOT hires like tons of companies. The DOT hires one company to do everything, depending if it's a joint venture, but that's a different story. But it hires one firm to do everything, and then that firm can have tons of subcontractors under them. All right. And I know a lot of businesses come from the private sector, like, I don't want to be a sub because they take time paying me and this and that. That's the beauty of government. That's the beauty of government contracting. If you're a subcontractor under a prime, you are going to be protected for those payments. The government will make sure you get paid by that prime. If you know, and just so you know, most of these, if you notice, like in Florida, I don't know, if you drive around Florida a lot, there's only 10, 12, 13 big construction companies out there, like that you know of, and they don't play around. When your check is ready, they will look for you and give you your check, because they don't want the DOT calling them asking, hey, why haven't you paid this person? This and that. All right. So they're very serious companies. So subcontracting, to me, at least with government, has no downside. Okay. Now you do have to wait for the prime to get paid before you get paid, because that's the way it is, right? They pay the prime, then you get paid. That could be 30, 45, 60 days. And sometimes companies don't understand that, but the prime contractors don't like take money out of their pockets to pay you. They wait for the DOT to pay them for your work, and then they pay you for that. Okay. So it may take a little time, but you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid exactly how your invoice came out. Okay. Any other questions, Lorna?
No, we're good.
All right.
Thank you.
Either I'm very informative, or we don't, or they don't want to ask questions. I see something pop up right now. Anything?
No. Yes, right now. Okay, how do I find those prime contractors? Do I get to see who they are on the bidding section?
Yes. As I said, if you go to plan and proposal holders, which is important letting documents, I keep forgetting you can't see my pointer. If you go to plan and proposal holders there, you can download a report for the job. I'm just not doing it now in front of you because it takes a long time. All right. But I promise that person, whoever asked the question, that at the end of this presentation, I'm going to shut down the internet, and I have a screenshot of a report I generated prior to this. Okay. And I'll show you what the report looks like, and I'll show you which are primes and which are subs. Okay. I knew that question was coming up. It's a very important question, so I knew it. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, now I'm not going to open this now because, again, it's a downloading thing. But if you look under important letting documents, second from the left where it says bid items, you can actually click on bid items, and it will create an Excel spreadsheet with all the items that you just saw on the sheet. So all you got to do is copy and paste and put them inside your own Excel spreadsheet, and you can quote the job. All right. You want to do just I don't know, you want to do just the plumbing work on it? Just copy and paste the plumbing work and put it onto your own Excel spreadsheet. You can create, you don't even have to write anything in. Okay. It'll create that for you, which is really, really cool. I can't tell you how much that helped me in my past life. Okay. Now, going back, remember, this is a central office. All right. It's very important to notice this. If we go down, you're going to see at the bottom here, it says district contract office. If we open the district contract office, you're going to see here, District 1, 2, 3, 4, which is Broward and Palm Beach, 5, and District 6, which is our district, right? Miami-Dade County and the Keys, all right? So if we open here, you're going to see that I think this office is in Doral. I've been here before. I've taught classes here before. If you look at the right here, you got letting and project, and just like with the other, you got letting and project information, all right? So the letting date coming up now, that can't be right. Oh, I guess they're not, it's November 21st is the last one. I guess they cut off there, okay? So let's open this letting date. These are already passed. And you can see these jobs are a little smaller, all right? But you got here, look, Miami-Dade, let's see. Pre-qualification is not required. Mowing and litter removal. I have a lot of companies that do this, mowing and litter removal, all right? So if you open up here, you can see the job, all right? The job was for 247,000. You had 730 contract days to do it. And here are the items. So if you look at the bottom, it says large mowing machine. They wanted 56 acres mowed. Mowing on a slope, they had 105 acres, and so on. So these are the items you would have to price, all right? And the estimate was 247,000. So, you know, there's all these jobs available, but you have to search, all right? I remember, right now, I only taught you how to search through the central office, and I taught you how to search through District 6. You are still missing to look at it, which is the same process, at 6 other districts plus the Turnpike, all right? Let's see what the Turnpike has. They're always interesting. I guess Turnpike gets all that toll money, so they get some nice projects. All right, letting and project arranged for the Turnpike. All right, January 14th, 2025, they got work coming up. Milling and resurfacing. Let's see what else they have. January 28th. Widening, grading, and drainage in Palm Beach County. And if you notice this little E as an 8 next to it, even though there's 7 districts, the 8th district is the Turnpike. They got widening and grading in the Turnpike. Look at the size of that job, everyone. Almost a third $1 billion right there. There's going to be a lot of companies involved here. You might want to look through this, see if there's some way you can get involved. All right? They're going to want a lot of DBE participation on this one. So that's another question. Anything there, Lorna?
No, we're good.
I thought I saw something pop up. All right. Okay. So this is all the information that, again, you need to be able to here are all the district contract office with all the contact information that you need, okay? I know this is a crash course. I know we're moving really fast, all right? But you're going to have the information recorded for you and sent to you. And I'm going to beg you now, I'm going to beg you at the end, please register for consulting with us. Any open blind spots that you have here, I can clear them up if we engage and move forward and have more than this little time to talk together, okay? And we can actually have a conversation where I'm one-on-one where you can answer and I can respond, okay? All right. Now, let me stop sharing this screen. And remember, before we started, we talked about how the DOT doesn't only have bridge and construction work. It also has professional service work. It has, you know, traditional building work, you know, vertical building and all, you know, but you're not going to find that on the page we just saw, which is something that I had to understand when I first started working with Terry back in the past. All the rest of the jobs are done through My Florida Marketplace. Okay. Now, for the people who are not in construction, you're going to get like a 2-for-1 here. You're going to get a BOGO because the Department of Transportation does advertise these jobs on My Florida Marketplace, but also all the rest of the agencies that work for the state also do here. So today you're going to learn not only the DOT, you're going to learn where all the other agencies in the state put their jobs, okay? So let's start sharing the screen here. Let me just get this ready. I'm sorry, I'm pretty slow with this. Lorna, can you see my screen for My Florida Marketplace?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so this is the My Florida Marketplace webpage. Now, please keep in mind, this is something that's a little hard to explain sometimes, but state is state, county is county. So in other words, even though Miami-Dade Public County Schools are in the state of Florida, they are governed by Miami-Dade County. So you're not going to find work for Miami-Dade Public Schools here. These are only state agencies like the DOT, South Florida Water Management District, the Department of Environmental Protection, state universities. You'll find them here too because they're for the state. Anything that's state funded, you will find here. If you're looking for the county, for the city of Doral, those are separate. They have their own systems, okay? Again, I know I sound like a broken record. If you need that type of assistance, please sign up for consulting with us. We can help you, okay? All right, so notice that I'm not logged in, and this is something that, you know, very important to learn, is that every single government contracting opportunity across the whole United States are free to access. So you don't need to, like, you know, have a special account or anything like that. Now, there are like services that they charge you a lot of money, that they compile all the information and put them there for you. Some people find that easier. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. More power to you. But please understand that the government doesn't ever charge for anything, okay? you can, if you're willing to search hard enough, you can find all the government opportunities posted for free. All right. And if you don't find them, you can call the government agency, tell them, hey, I need the contract documents for this, and they will send them to you. Back in the day, they used to charge, but because of the printing costs, right? Like I'm going to give you 500 pages of plans, you got to pay something because I'm giving you the paper and the ink. But nowadays with PDFs and all that, they're not charging anything. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is go here to the bottom left, which is search advertisements. Now, this page is simplistic. All right. I have never had any problem with it. It's just very simple, which I like. Now, if you bring it up to the left, you're going to see this pane. If you bring this down, all right, what I like to do is go invitation to bid, invitation to negotiate, request for proposals, like to mark those. All right. Then I go down. This is where a lot of people trip and fall. Add status, click open. All right. Because if you don't, it's going to give you all the closed ones that already passed. And, you know, it's harder to filter. Now, here is the fun part. All right. So go organization. And because this is FDOT, I'm going to put department. I'm going to write in transportation. And there is the Florida Department of Transportation. All right. But you saw there were plenty of other agencies right there. All right. Let's open them up. These are all, look, Florida Gulf Coast University. Look who's there, Lorna. You see us right there?
Go
So these
Panthers.
are all state agencies, and they're going to be putting their jobs in here. Okay? Okay? So please look at that. Commodity codes. This is something, when you sign up for My Florida Marketplace, you're going to have to pick your commodity codes. It's basically like, you know, what kind of work you do. If you're a carpenter, your code is, you know, 830. These get confused with NAICS codes, which are federal. It's not the same. But I don't want to put any in there right now. We're just going to look at jobs that the Florida Department of Transportation has right now. Now, one thing that's important is, remember this, and this is something that a lot of people always call me every day, and it's like the shortest phone call I ever get. They're like, Matt, I'm trying to put this and nothing's populating. I'm like, just scroll down and click search, because that search button is kind of hidden down there. All right. I say it takes me 10 seconds to answer this question every day, and I get it like 3 or 4 times a day. All right. So click
Matt?
search. Yes.
When you register for My Florida Marketplace, do you register as a person or as a company?
As a company.
Okay.
Now, if you're just a person working under a 1099 as a consultant, you can register too, but it's a company. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. All right. By the way, I help I'd say about 300 companies a year register with My Florida Marketplace. So if you need me, just sign up at the end. We'll help you out. And Luis helps people, and Mirta helps people, and we can help you out. It's not difficult, and it's free, by the way. Don't let anyone tell you it costs money. If anyone tells you it costs money, tell them to call me. I'll tell them to go fly a kite. All right? Okay, so I put the Florida Department of Transportation. Now look at all the work that the Florida Department of Transportation has that has nothing to do with bridge and road, okay? It's all here. If you look at here, there's a maintenance employment services, fixtures and parts, storage solution. They need other things other than construction, right? It's just, they have buildings, they have personnel, they have a storage building in Jacksonville, cultural resources, assessment services, check that out. Like I know a lot of my clients would love this one, to look at this one. And so because they're not looking at these, they're missing them, okay? This is something you should be checked daily, because there's no day where jobs are not posted, okay? Now, please look, cafeteria services. I know someone's interested in that one. Imagine getting a 5-year contract in the cafeteria for the DOT. Natural resources support, so there's tons. And remember, I'm just doing the DOT. Look what happens if I go and I filter them out and I run a search. These are all the open contracts for the state, regardless of agency. All right, so there's 127 results here. All right, and please keep in mind, I do want to make a little break here. This has nothing to do with the federal government, nothing to do with SAM. They're going to have another hundreds of opportunities. This has nothing to do with Miami-Dade County. They're going to have hundreds of opportunities. This has nothing to do with Broward County. They're going to have hundreds of opportunities. And this has nothing to do with cities. They're going to have, not hundreds, but dozens of opportunities. All right. So we're just seeing the state today, and look how many there are. So when people come and tell me, I can't find anything, I'm like, I don't understand how. I really don't, because the United States is such a huge country, and the state of Florida is huge, and it's growing every day. all right? Now, sometimes, given we won't find the exact same job that we want, our dream job, but if we're not checking every day, we're going to miss them, okay? People often ask me, like, how often should I check? I'm like, when I was never a business owner, but I was an employee. I was the head estimator bidder for a company for a lot of years, all right? And if I had told my boss, like, how many times how often should I check for jobs? He would have fired me right then on the spot. Because the answer to that question is every day, every morning, every afternoon, because you want to find these jobs as soon as they come out. All right? If I had asked him that, he would have shown me the door, like, yeah, you're no good. Okay? Because these jobs, there's no like a date where they post them. There's no like a date where they're gonna like be, it's whenever they're ready, they post them in there. Okay? As you can see, the dates, they're all different. All right. So now let's pretend, for the sake of argument, that we want to do this laundry upgrade project. So all you got to do for the Department of Children and Families, all you got to do is click on the ITB, which is invitation to bid. All right. And if you look, these are all the commodity codes we were speaking about, like 72121 is commercial and office building construction services. And if you go down here, if you look here to the left, are all the documents you need to, you can download them to be able to bid the job. All right. That being said, most of them will have this. Some of them will just be too big a package, and they'll have like a phone number at the top and telling you, please contact such a person to get the document. All right. And if you do look here at the top, you're going to see that there's contact information for the contracting officers for these jobs. All right. Joshua Burns, in this case, is in charge of this job. Okay. So people you can talk to and ask questions and all this stuff. All right. I don't know if all of you know here, but there's a certain like period you can't ask questions. After that, they go into a code of silence when it's getting closer to the bid, where they can't answer questions anymore. And it's inside the contract. It'll tell you like you can ask questions from this date to that date. But if you read the document, you'll have that, and here's the person to contact. Okay. Please go over this, play around with the site, and see what opportunities are there for you. All right. Let me stop sharing and let me keep a promise that I said I was going to keep. Where is my PowerPoint presentation? All right, so we're back on my PowerPoint. We went to my Florida Marketplace. There's the link if you need it. It's going to be coming to you. All right. Now, as I said, let me keep this promise to you. All right. So someone asked me before, how can I find the list of the bidders and all that? All right. This is a report I generated. It took me about 3 minutes to download this. That's why I didn't do it during the presentation. All right. But you can go in there and download these yourself right now, like without even signing in. I don't have an account. I don't have anything, and I was able to download this. Okay. First thing, please know that this is only available for the road and construction maintenance. You can't do this from My Florida Marketplace. All right. My Florida Marketplace does not have this kind of system. The reason this system exists is because the DOT road and bridge construction has the contract proposal processing system. And every time somebody downloads the plans and specs, it puts them into this list. That's why they have this, okay? This is an anomaly. It's a great thing, but it's an anomaly in government contracting, all right? I love it, but I don't get too used to it because if I go to like federal agencies and stuff like that, they're not going to tell me who's bidding the job. I'm not going to know until the end, all right? Now, that being said, remember I told you, like, this list, these lists are only telling you who downloaded the plans and specs. It is not telling you whether they decided to bid the job or not. They might have downloaded the specs, looked at them and said, oh no, this job is too difficult, but their name is still there. So if you call them and say, you know, I heard you're bidding the job, and they go, well, we're not bidding it, don't take it personal. It's just that they decided not to do it. Lorna, you want to ask me something?
Yes. What about micro purchases?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the state does not do. I know what you're talking about. That's a federal. That's a federal program. Micro purchases. The state doesn't do that. But I will say this: the state, the county. It depends on what you're. If you're looking for the program for micro purchases, that's federal. So it's not state. It's not county. But in reality, depending on what you call it, state, counties, cities, they all have micro purchases. Because if I'm a procurement officer and I need coffee mugs for the office, right? I am not going to put out a bid for coffee mugs because it's, and I got a certain amount of discretionary money that I can use for coffee mugs and stuff like that, right? If it's not over, let's say, I'm just throwing a number out there. Let's say it's Matt, if it's not over $10,000, you don't have to bid it, right? So then I'll look inside my Rolodex and see what companies have coffee mugs, and probably what they'll tell me is you need to get at least 3 quotes for the coffee mug. So it's not a bid. I call people and say, hey, we're the FDOT, we're looking for some coffee mugs. We need 100 of them. Please give me a price. And then 3 people give me prices. They come in, I compare them, and I buy whatever I want. All right. But so even though it's not a program for micro purchases, it is. They're micro purchases. So, and people are saying like, well, how do I get on those lists? The only way to get on those lists is to present yourself to the contracting officers. Go and say hello, give them your capability statement, give them your materials. If they don't know you exist, they're probably not going to call you. All right. There might be some type of products where they're like, man, I really got to look online and find people. But chances are one of your competitors that was more savvy already went into their office and spoke to them. They can't take them to lunch because they're government employees, but probably went there, spoke to them, or went to the trade show and shook their hand, and and they saw a face and they liked them. So if you're into that type of like, you don't want to bid, you just want to do micro, you need to put yourself out there. Website, marketing material, going to trade shows, meeting people like Terry Watson who can help you, meeting people like Lorna who can help you. Okay, you need to do that. You need to put yourself out there. If you're sitting at home at a computer, it's still not as effective as it is. It's getting better, but still, that personal contact, seeing somebody's face, shaking someone's hand, hasn't been replaced for a long time.
And Matt, how do you find them? How do you find Terry? How do you find these contacts?
Best way is to go to I almost made a mistake. Best way is to call us. We know. And if we don't know, we will find out. Right? I try to find contacts every day for my clients. I don't know the contacts, but I will find them. All right. Second best way is go onto their website. If you go to the DOT website and you go to the Equal Opportunity Office, you'll see Terry right there. You'll see everybody else who works with Terry. Cece, Carol, and all the great people who help Terry. You'll see them there. If you go to the district contract office, I just showed you a minute ago, their contract information was right there for each district. All right. Go to the trade shows. People say, well, trade shows are a waste of time because I go out there and I don't walk out with a contract. I'm like, I don't think anybody has. Those events are not for you to walk out with contracts. They're for you to go meet people and present your product and shake hands and let people see your face. And that's the best way, because usually these shows, like, we all go. Like, when I don't go, somebody else goes, and I know Lorna's and tons of them all the time. So that's the best way. Okay, use the services to support you. Any other question?
No, we're good.
Okay, I wanted to go back to this a minute, just a second. We're almost done here. But you see that little blue arrow I put there? All right. If you notice that particular line there, it says plans, specs, and proposals. People often ask me, like, how do I know which one is a sub and which one is a prime? All right. Look for where it says document holders, it says plans, specs, and proposals. All right. That's the prime contractor. You've probably seen that company around, General Asphalt. They're all over South Florida. All right. When it says plans, specs, and proposals, that means they downloaded the whole document package because they're going to bid as a prime. All right. The others only downloaded the plans and specs because they're only interested in certain parts of it. All right. There's tons of companies that everyone knows there. How about Bob's Barricades? I know you've seen them. I know when you're stuck in traffic, everyone's reading Bob's Barricades. There they are. If you see Acme Barricades, they're there as well. That's the way to see if they're primes or not. All right. Plans, specs, and proposals. That being said, I know this gets really confusing. There is no limit on subcontractor chain in Florida. So you can, let's say you sell aluminum, you can contact Bob's Barricades or Acme Barricades to sell them aluminum for their signage. Okay, so there's no like limit where you can't have this many. Florida, you can have the prime and you can have 50 subcontractors under it, all working under each other. There's no limit on that. Okay, so don't think, well, if the prime doesn't want to buy from you, then maybe you got to go to the sub, to one of the bigger subs, so on. Okay. All right. So I'm finishing with the log. I'll take some questions if there's any left in a minute. Wow, we did really well, right on 2 o'clock. These are more resources for you. Please try to sign up for these. All the services are at no cost to you. All right. There is no downside to this. Unless you don't like my voice and you don't like talking to me, there is no downside to this. All right. So please take advantage of this. I'll have Lorna cleared up in a minute. Lorna, can you please direct me on this? Because you know more about these codes than I do.
Yes, so I put the link on the chat. Just take a few minutes to tell us how we did. All of the webinars and the workshops, face-to-face workshops are for you. So we do want to align like our events to your needs. So if you can give us like a quick feedback, we would appreciate it. Matt, we do have a question. Could you please share if you provide assistance with FDOT pre-qualification that is required for engineering design firms?
I want to say yes and no. Okay, yes, because I can give you all the information for it. No, because I can't actually sit down with you and go through the thing. But I can give you all the information and I can direct you to DOT supportive services who can help you with that directly, who can actually sit down with you and help you with the paperwork. Okay, so the answer is yes and no. I can take you to a point and then I gotta move you on to DB supportive, which Terry spoke about a minute ago, which is also a free service. So don't worry about it. Okay. You're not going to get charged or anything. We're not sending you like to somebody else for them to charge you. But there's only, I can take you to a certain point and then we got to hand it out to the pre-qualification expert. And even them, after that, they're going to have to go to the pre-qualification experts for the DOT. So it's a big process. I will tell you that. But yeah, we can help. Each one of us can help to a certain point and get you there.
And just like Matt said, our consulting is at no cost, but the FDOT also has consulting at no cost. So tapping into the resources is also navigating, right? Work smart, not hard, and being able to understand who you need to speak to at different points in your journey.
I do want to clarify, DB supportive services will help you at no cost to get your DBE certification through, but the consulting in itself, you need to be DBE certified in order to get the consulting. Does that make any sense? So they are at no cost. They're always at no cost. But if you're not DBE certified and you ask them for pre-qualification, they're going to say, okay, but you got to get DBE certified first before we can help you. Does that make any sense? Whereas we don't need you to be certified. We'll help you no matter what. They're a great service. I used to work with them. Okay, they're a great service, but if you call them and ask them, hey, I need help with pre-qual, the first thing they're going to ask you is, hey, you need to get DBE certified. So, which is a great thing. As Terry is talking, it's a great thing to get DBE certified, but it's a process. Everything in government is a process.
Right. We have another question. Is there a separate portal for manufacturers apparel?
No, that would be, so that's a very good question. DOT, as far as I know, I've never seen them buy like, I've never seen it. I know they buy them because they have them. I've seen the employees wearing apparel. But I've never actually seen a bid where they're asking for the apparel. So it might be something they're just purchasing. Might be something like we talked about a minute ago, where you might have to like actually go to them and show them your pamphlets and everything. You need to talk to somebody to show them that, just depends on how much discretionary spending they have for those uniforms. But I've never seen like a bid there, because it's probably the amount for the bid is probably doesn't justify putting it out to bid, right? So it's more you got to go sit in front of the district agencies and talk to them.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, Terry.
Hey, one of the other things too, a lot of that kind of stuff that we purchase ends up having to be on state contract. So then that's purchased through Department of Management Development or Department of Management Services.
That's right.
Office of Supplier Development, because they changed the name. Used to be
the OSD.
But those Department of Management Services manages all the state contracts. And so generally what we're told is, hey, go to the state contract first. And those are vendors who've won a contract for a year or for 2 years or for 3 years, whatever that time frame is, to furnish any of that kind of stuff for any state agency. So,
and this is why, Lorna, I wanted you to please contact Terry for this. This is why. Thank you so much. So remember, we were going on the My Florida Marketplace webpage, and I said, these are the agencies for the state, and this is the DOT. If you go in there, whoever asked that question, if you go in there and you can bring it down, like Terry said, to the Department of Management Services, maybe go in there and see if there's any apparel right there, like Terry just said. Okay? Thank you so much, Terry. I really appreciate it, man. Good catch.
No problem. Thank you.
Good catch.
Another question, when
Mhm.
submitting a proposal to the contractor as a subcontractor, do they choose the lower bidder?
That it's, you know, when it comes to it depends on what they want. Usually they want the best price, but they're also going to look at, can you do the job or not, right? So, you know, in my past experience, we used to do a lot of stuff, and I used to get these quotes that were really low. They were really, really, really low, but I didn't automatically go to them because I didn't know them. I'm like, all right, I would love this price to be real, but if I don't know them and I don't know what their capabilities are, I'm afraid to hire them because I don't want them to not perform on the job, because that's going to be a nightmare that happens. All right. So it's a big, price is always a big factor. It always is. You know, anybody who tells you that price is not a factor is lying. It's always a factor, but you also got to show the capability to do the work. All right. Any prime contractor who automatically goes for the lowest bid, in my opinion, they don't have a lot of experience dealing with subcontractors, because all it takes is you taking like a really low bid, and then they don't want to honor it, and then they think they're going to get change orders, and that's a huge, huge, huge fight. So we would rather just stay out of it. Like, we look for, so the terminology I found to answer that question is, everyone is generally looking for the lowest responsible bid. That's what everyone's looking for. All right. So yeah, it is not always the determining factor, but yeah, it's a big factor. It's a really big factor. Any other questions?
Yes, we do. Matt, do you have another slide on our social media handles? Just,
I think so. Yeah, hold on.
and then just
I
go.
got that, right?
Yeah, we got that in the link just before. Okay. This is the contact information, also our phone number for the office, just in case you need to contact us directly. So the next question is, from your experience working with contractors, what has been the best hack or tip for a successful bid process? What should we avoid?
I don't like what I'm going to say, but what I learned to avoid over the years, because it got me into a lot of trouble once, and I was forgiven for this, and I never did it again, is don't be looking at other people's prices, at prices from the past. There is no such thing as a market price. It doesn't exist. The market price is whatever I say it is, right? Be very careful with that, because what happens is, I'll tell you what happened to me. All right, I was able, because I knew how to find stuff, and that's a gift, but it's also a curse to be able to find stuff, because you find stuff you shouldn't find, right? I got lazy once, and I was like, all right, here are the prices from that job before, so I'm just gonna bump up these prices a little, like a little 10%. I'm gonna turn this bid in, because I didn't want to sit down and actually estimate and look at the plans. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, ooh, I found a shortcut. Long story short, we won that bid, and right off the bat, we were like 130,000 in the hole, like right off the bat. And my boss called me in, and he's like, I got two choices. I can turn in my bid bond and lose $70,000 and look bad with the surety company, or I can do this job at a loss because of you. What happened? Now, he said, I know you're smarter than this. I know you're better than this. What happened? I'm like, well, I got lazy and I looked at that stuff. He's like, okay. He said, you have one time to do this. You ever lose me a job again, you're gone. All right. Now, what you have to see is, I was an employee. So worst case scenario, what happened to me is I got fired, right? Worst case scenario, I was fired, and I have to go look for another job. You're business owners. You can't afford to do that, right? If you go and you find somebody else's prices and you get a loser bid and you get awarded, you're on the hook for that price that you put in there, right? That could cost you your whole company. It could cost you your company. It could cost you your line of credit. It could cost you everything, all right? So and that's number one, okay? Number two is, don't ever bid on a job unless you understand what you're bidding on completely, all right? The government officials, the primes, they don't want to hire people where they got to be holding their hands. They don't understand the project, all right? The reason they put out all these documents is so everyone understands the project that they're getting into, all right? And trust me, it goes a long way when you understand the project and you talk to the primes and you talk to the government, and you show that you understand the project at hand, that you know what they're trying to do, and you show that, it goes a long way when they're picking the winner, like in behind closed doors, and I know because I've been there, it goes a long way if you've shown that you have complete knowledge of this job. Because why? At the end of the day, everyone wants an easy day. Everyone. The prime contractor wants an easy day, and they know they're not going to get them. They know there's going to be complications because there's always going to be complications. All right, but they don't want to bring in more problems than they have to. So even if your price is really, really, really low, and you haven't been able to show them that trust, they might not look at that. They might see, well, this other company showed us that they understand the contract documents very well. Like they demonstrated this. So that it might be better to spend an extra $20,000, $30,000 on them, right? And give them the job rather than give it to somebody else who's going to cost us more money moving forward, right? So those are my biggest advices you can have. There's more, but that's probably my two big ones. Any other questions?
Questions?
Huh?
Nope.
All right, so I can't see anybody who's in there, but I do have a question for you and for everybody. When you put those the surveys in, first of all, kudos to the instructor, kudos to Lorna, kudos to Terry. Please also let me know what other topics you would like to discuss, so we can create more workshops for you and stuff like that, because it's always a question mark for me what everyone wants to talk about. Because if you notice, we had this today and there were so many questions from different areas today, okay? So if you can put that inside there, it would really help us out too, all right?
I'm also putting my email address in case you guys want to contact me and reach me and share your thoughts through email. You can always do that through my email address. I put it in the chat.
Other than that, I'm spoken out for today. So if you have any closing words, Lorna? I just saw Hayden Marie. She's one of my clients.
Yeah, so I know it's 2:13, so thank you so much for coming to this webinar. Again, this webinar will be sent via a follow-up email. Also the PowerPoint presentation. If you have any other questions, let us know. The link to meet with Matt, I already put on the chat. If you need to contact him directly, Matt, if you want to put in the chat your contact information, you're free to do so.
I would, but I'm supposed to wait for assignment before I do that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So sign in first. If you are a client of SBDC already, and you're already seeing another consultant, you can email me. And then, we have clients that see multiple consultants, especially if you started with us as an access to capital or marketing, and now you're going into government contracting. Just email me if you're already in our system, okay? Well, have a great time. And
Terry, thank you so much.
Weather.
Terry,
Yes.
thank you so much, man.
Oh, no, you're very, very welcome.
Please say hello to everybody for me. I miss you guys so much.
I will. You did a great job. And Lorna, thank you for inviting me as well. And my passing or ending word would be folks who attended, take advantage of the SBDC. They're doing good things down there. Give them a call, let them help you. People are here to help you. So like Matt said, we expect folks to, and we give all that plan information because we expect you to know something about the job, but that doesn't mean you can't have a question. So don't be afraid to ask questions. That lets us know that you actually are paying attention and you're trying to get clarification of what was written down, so that you actually did read it and went through it. So
nobody likes to know it all.
Exactly. Thank you all very much.
Bye.
Please take
Have
care.
a great week. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.